I've got over 300 stories to cover in today's video, so make sure you have refreshments nearby. It's the festive season, maybe a mulled wine, before you settle down and get into this. Hello everyone, what is up and welcome back to my channel. Thank you very much for joining us today on the annual, well, second of, but it will now be annual, video of mine where I go through all of the biggest pop culture stories that have happened over the past year. If you're new here, then first of all, subscribe. I have a lot of very fun pop culture commentary content coming in the new year. I'm very excited for some of the videos that I have planned. But I did this last year and this video will just be me running down all of the biggest moments that happened in pop culture and internet culture this year. I, of course, have my aid with me. Let me ASMR this shit for you. And let's just get into this, because this video is already going to be long enough as it is.
You want me to put that on my todger? And the minute I opened it, the smell transported me through time.
We start the year with Prince Harry doing his first televised TV interview for his memoir Spare, in which he reveals some information which I personally did not need to know.
She'd urged me to apply Elizabeth Arden cream. My mum used that on her lips. You want me to put that on my todger? And the minute I opened it, the smell transported me through time. I felt as if my mother was right there in the room.
If you unironically use the word todger in the year of 2023, I think we need to get working on your New Year's resolution for the new year. But despite his frostbitten todger, he also did reveal that Will and Kate were huge Suit fans. That's funny, isn't it? Chris Evans went Instagram official with his girlfriend Alba Baptista. Florence Pugh graced Vogue with Fish. Looking back, this was kind of See You Next Tuesday. Like, why am I obsessed with this? You are not from the UK. We have a show over here, which I'm quite surprised I'm talking about, considering it is a show which is about the ball that is cooked by the foot. And it is called Match of the Day. And I didn't think I would ever be speaking about the show on my channel until someone rang up and got them to play sex noises live on air.
Winners only policy in the studio tonight. And I don't know who's making that noise, but so I was...
Genius trolling, A star from me. First UK #1 of the year in 2023 was also British singers Ray's very first #1, Escapism. She went on to later release her debut studio album, My 21st Century Blues, which went to #2, and another hit song which also climbed to #2 in the singles chart called Prada. Another fantastic year for Ray and another win for independent artists. Speaking of music, Shakira also released her diss track to her ex, PK. Again, a footballer. Why are we 2 minutes into a video and I've spoken about sport twice? Shakira broke so many records with this song. It was the most viewed Latin track on YouTube within 24 hours with 63 million views. It later became the fastest Latin track to reach 100 million views on YouTube. If you don't know the story behind this, Shakira found out that her husband allegedly was cheating on her. She loves strawberry jam. Two things about Shakira though which are very important is that her hips don't lie and she loves herself some strawberry jam. So when she came home one night and found that the strawberry jam had been used and had finger marks in, she knew that it couldn't have been her husband PK. Because one thing about PK that you need to know is he hates strawberry jam, which only means that it could be one thing: Rebecca Vardy's account. Apart from it was not Rebecca Vardy, it was another woman who was in her jam pot. Not only are you in her house sleeping with her man, you are also stealing her jam, something sacred to Shakira? Disgusting. Love Island returned for the very first winter series in 3 years. HBO Max announced the cancellation of Gossip Girl after just 2 seasons. This reboot was never necessary. The scripting was terrifying.
There's something else you'd rather be doing? Like bribing your way into college? Or expanding your carbon footprint?
Miley Cyrus released a riff of Bruno Mars' When I Was Your Man in a song which you may know titled Flowers. Ended up breaking the record for being the most streamed song in a week and the fastest song to hit 1 billion streams, and was ranked as Billboard's 4th biggest song of 2023. A lot of the attention also came from the music video, in which there was a lot of pieces put together that online conspiracy theorists were thinking that it was digs at her ex, Liam Hemsworth. And while the song is quite clearly about her ex, I think some of the theories were a bit of a reach. People were saying that the house that the music video was filmed in was the house that Liam Hemsworth cheated on her with, and that the gold dress she wore was a dig at Jennifer Lawrence, as there was rumors that Jennifer Lawrence had an affair with Liam Hemsworth while he was with Miley Cyrus, and it was very similar to a dress that Jennifer Lawrence once wore. To me, it's just a gold dress. Also in the world of music, Ice Spice and Pink Panthers were spotted filming a music video together, which got a lot of fans very excited. Hailey Bieber would bring the Nepo Baby discourse into 2024 when she stepped out in paparazzi shots wearing a t-shirt which said Nepo Baby on. She got a lot of hate for this. Twitter were coming for that girl's throat. They were on her neck. If I'm gonna be completely honest, it was kind of a serve. Like, say if Lily Rose Depp stepped out in a Nepo Baby t-shirt, the way that everyone would eat it up, but just because it's Hailey Bieber, we want to jump down her throat, we have to give her her tens, unfortunately.
You're not that bitch or nothing, but you still ate that little one thing, ate that one thing.
New horror film Megan about a doll was very viral, but my favorite thing that came out of that film was discovering that the voice actress of Megan was the same girl who did Penny, Nickel, Dime, Penny, Penny, Nickel, Dime.
Penny, nickel, dime, penny, penny, nickel, dime.
Beyoncé did a concert in Dubai Dubai, which she was reportedly paid $24 million just for 1 hour of performing. This would be her first time she performed in 4 years, and obviously off the back of her album Renaissance, it was her first performance from that. You were not allowed to film at the concert, but obviously people still film. Come on, it's the 21st century. We have gotten very sneaky with how we get our recording. And a riff that she did went super viral on TikTok. She also caught a lot of flack from this because she performed in Dubai where homosexual acts are illegal, and she has credited her album Renaissance to being very heavily inspired by ballroom culture and the LGBTQ plus community. Jennifer Coolidge joined TikTok.
Hi. This is my first TikTok.
In Paris Fashion Week, Doja Cat wore 30,000 beads to the Schiaparelli show, and Kylie Jenner also appeared with a lion head, which gave us this iconic video. And model royalty Christine McMenemy fell over mid-show. Kylie Jenner would reveal the name of her son and also share pictures for the very first time in which the name was Air, spelled with an E, but specified that it was pronounced air, like billionaire. Choices of words. Drag Race would return, this time premiering on MTV for the first time. American politician George Santos would be accused of being drag queen in his prior life. Is prior life the correct word? Because like he didn't be reincarnated. Like it was just a couple years back. And the Real Friends of WeHo, which would try and emulate a sort of housewives, but house husband, gay people. Gay people was released, which was it was a mess. Taylor Swift would make a surprise appearance at the 1975 tour to sing her song Anti-Hero, but more importantly, stopped by to take a picture with Denise Welch from Loose Woman fame. And it was very important to note that when she made this appearance at the 1975 concert, she was still allegedly with Joe Alwyn. Kanye West and model Bianca Censori would allegedly marry. Jake Paul announced that Tommy Fury and Molly May had allegedly had their baby, but he did this in a very unclassy way. I thought this was a classy party.
I thought this was a classy party.
Because he would use it as like bait for like boxing beef, which... Come on, leave children out of this. I know Jake Paul is not the most tasteful person, but even for him, I felt this was low. Kendall Jenner would be called bland once again in a Miu Miu campaign. Austin Butler's vocal coach says that his voice may be affected by his Elvis accent for life after the internet ridiculed him for still speaking at the same accent that he used in the Elvis film. So much so that his ex Vanessa Hudgens would comment on this, saying crying. It is very good to know that Vanessa Hudgens has not lost her shady ways since her COVID-19 scandal.
Yeah, people are gonna die. It's just terrible, but like, inevitable?
Sam Smith would release the music video for their song I'm Not Here to Make Friends, and this would cause a lot of controversy because people said it was an extremely inappropriate music video. The only reason that people wanted to say this was inappropriate was because it was Sam Smith doing it, because if you look at cis, straight, male and female artists' past music videos, I don't think Sam Smith's music video was anything controversial or shocking. New Jeans would drop their EP. It had some hit songs on there. Super Shy and New Jeans were some of my favorite songs of the year. Tiffany and Nike released a collaboration in which there was a shoehorn. If you fucking have a Tiffany and Nike shoehorn, you need to redistribute your wealth. And TikToker Michaela, who you may know from Kim Kardashian, would get into some heated water when she posted a mascara ad for a L'Oreal telescopic mascara. However, she would actually have false eyelashes on, which... Okay, yeah, it is wrong, but I think what made it even worse to me is the choices of words she used. This literally just changed my life. This looks like falsy. Girl, it looks like a falsy because it is one. After her Dubai concert, Beyonce would announce that the Renaissance World Tour would begin this year, and tickets were extremely hard to get. Me, myself, had to go through the treacherous labor of trying 4 separate times, but I did go in the end. Golden circle, may I add. We got the first look at Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn in the Joker 2. Halle Bailey would cover the Face magazine prior to The Little Mermaid being released in a streetwear-inspired mermaid theme. And this got a lot of flack saying that it looked cheap and a mess. I personally really liked it and thought it was really chic. Elsewhere in the world of fashion, Mischief would release their big red boots with the inspiration from cartoon Astro Boy. This, again, caused a lot of controversy. Don't get me wrong, I like the boots, but the way it just kind of got taken out of context and into the wrong hands of people put me off it. And then the Ego and Fashion Nova dupes came too, and it's safe to say one of the worst fashion trends of the year. Tom Brady would announce his retirement from American football after 24 years. The 65th annual Grammy Awards were held. Beyonce would win 4 awards, which would make her the top Grammy winner of all time with 32 wins. That is a legend. However, a lot of controversy would also come with Beyonce because she did not win any of the big 4 that year, including Album of the Year, which went to Harry's House instead. And a lot of people had an issue with that because Beyonce's Renaissance was very critically acclaimed compared to Harry's House, which a lot of people didn't view as far as tasteful. On that night, Viola Davis won a Grammy, which would make her the 18th person in history to have the EGOT status. The Super Bowl came around, which Rihanna was performing at, and she performed a medley of her greatest hits. She was expected on the night to announce that she was coming back to music, but instead, she announced that she was pregnant with her second child, which would mean that her hiatus from music would probably last a little bit longer, and it did. However, I cannot be mad because she gave us this gorgeous Loewe look that night, inspired by Andre Leon Talley. Rihanna would also take to the cover of British Vogue alongside her partner A$AP Rocky and her child, where Rihanna would reveal that her son was named RZA, spelled R-Z-A. The Brits 2023 awards happened, and a lot of controversy came around with no woman being nominated after they got rid of gendered categories and made the categories genderless. Harry Styles would win 4 awards that night and call out no woman being nominated in his acceptance speech.
This award is for Rena, Charlie, Florence, Mabel, and Becky. Thank you so much.
As well as shouting out all the members of One Direction.
I want to thank Niall, Louis, Liam, and Zane, because I wouldn't be here without you either.
Daisy May Cooper said this.
We went into the toilets earlier. We saw Sugar Babes, and they weren't doing.
And Sam Smith devoured this outfit. Emily Ratajkowski and Eric Andre Jr. would host on Valentine's Day a very cute couples-themed dump. Everybody was very happy for them that they were together, and they shortly broke up a few days later. And this is why you never post a man, ladies and gentlemen. Dick Van Dyke was a contestant on The Masked Singer in America. Joshua Bassett had his confirmation at a church which has questionable beliefs to conversion therapy after coming out recently. Daniel Lee would have his first collection as the creative director of Burberry. Finally, we would get that leak from Ice Spice and Pink Pantheress, which was leaked on TikTok in January to be released in February, which would be, as I'm sure you all know, the great modern-day masterpiece work of art of Boys a Liar Part 2. This would be the both stars' breakout hits. Pink Pantheress had had some hype bubbling around her for quite a while, as had Ice Spice in the latter part of 2023, but this would be both of their first entries into top 10s in a lot of countries. The song went to number 2 in the UK charts and number 3 in the US chart. And I'm gutted that it just missed out on number 1, because it would be very fitting that 2 Gen Z coming up artists would get their first number 1s together. Like, that's just cute. Louis Vuitton announced that Pharrell Williams would be their new creative director of menswear after the late passing of Virgil Abloh. Alexis Stone would attend the Diesel show dressed as Jennifer Coolidge, and people got very excited because they thought it was the actual Jennifer. When people found out that was Alexis Stone, a lot of people had a big issue with this, which I didn't get, because Alexis Stone has been doing this for ages. The BAFTAs came around, and you already know what I'm gonna say. Angela Bassett did the thing. Ariana DeBose did a opening performance in which she shouted out all of the female nominees. It was a very touching intent. However, unfortunately, that intent was then memeified.
Jamie Lee, you are all of us!
Chloe Bailey would release a song with Chris Brown. Sabrina Carpenter would release a BBC Live lounge of her song Nonsense. If you do not know, it became a very big TikTok trend that at the end of Sabrina Carpenter's shows, she would change her outro of Nonsense to have some like fun little lyrics which were custom to the city that she was performing in. But she decided to say this for the BBC Live lounge performance.
I'm American, I am not British. So BBC, it stands for something different.
BBC pulled this very quickly. I think, let the girl have fun. Hailey Bieber, Selena Gomez, and Kylie Jenner would cause, I guess, the Nepo baby model of the 2019 Dramageddon. Selena has been baiting, I don't know if baiting's the right word, because I don't want to put that word on her, but it is verging on baiting territory when you're making TikToks saying, I wish I was pretty as Bella Hadid, who is your rumored partner's ex and good friend of girl that you're allegedly beefing with. Anyway, Selena would then also post a TikTok where she said that she laminated her brows too much, and Kylie would then, a few hours later, post a picture on her Instagram story of her eyebrows, and then a FaceTime screenshot of her and Hailey with a close-up of their eyebrows. People decided to say that this was shade directly towards Selena Gomez. Kylie actually commented on it. That's how ridiculous it got. She was like, we're all reading into this too much. Go outside, touch some grass, get a look on reality. Selena and Hailey would also comment on a TikTok, because there's a TikTok where Hailey Bieber would gag at Taylor Swift, and Selena said something about how she's defending her best friend or something, then decided to take her first of many social media breaks over the year, which would be broken very quickly. After months of back and forth and Jake Paul leaking Molly May's birth, which she did in fact have at the end of January, the time would come for Jake Paul and Tommy Fury to actually fight, in which Tommy Fury beat Jake Paul. Keke Palmer gave birth to her first child. Sam Smith ate up this Perfect magazine cover, and a girl claimed that she was Madeleine McCann. She said that she had all the proof, but the DNA test would come back and reveal that she actually was not Madeleine McCann.
Well, I lost half a day of skiing.
Ice Spice picked up a part-time job babysitting Northwest Kardashian. Heaven by Marc Jacobs released one of their most iconic campaigns to date, where there was a very long sofa, including names such as Anna Sui, Tara Reid, Michael Imperioli. Victoria's Secret announced that after the cancellation of their problematic runway show, that they would be coming back for the first time in 6 years this year. Cole Sprouse would give everybody the collective ick, and I don't even like to use the word ick, but there is quite really no other way to describe this. He decided to light up and smoke a cigarette mid-podcast recording on Call Her Daddy. Even like vaping on a podcast would be kind of cringe, but to light up a cigarette in an enclosed space? Come on. After months of rumors, Kendall Jenner and Bad Bunny were caught making out for the first time, which would be their first public sighting. And in other news of really weird and bizarre couples, Avril Lavigne and Tyga dated. The Oscars happened and Everything Everywhere All at Once would take home 7 awards, as well as loads of other awards at different ceremonies this year. Jamie Lee Curtis would win her very first Oscar. Beyonce and Adidas would cut partnership ties, which would mean that it would be the end of Ivy Park, and the final collection would be released later this year. Jeremy Scott would step down as the creative director of Moschino, and Levi's would announce that they are starting to use AI for models for diversity reasons. Of course, this got a lot of backlash because it's like, just hire the models if you want diversity and actually pay these people. Like, why do we need AI for that when there are 7 billion, maybe 8 billion now? Is there really 8 billion people? Demi Lovato released a rock version of her single Heart Attack, which would be the first of many rock versions of her hit singles she'd continue to release this year. Rosalía announced she was engaged to singer Raúl Alejandro. Lana Del Rey released her album Did You Know That There Was a Tunnel Under Ocean Boulevard, which would pick up a lot of Grammy nominations. This was also the month where Gwyneth Paltrow went to court.
Well, I lost half a day of skiing.
Gwyneth Paltrow was sued for a ski crash trial. Someone got in an accident with her and was trying to sue her for $300,000, claiming that he had months of lasting injuries and this was all caused due to her reckless skiing. Gwyneth knew that this was bogus, so she countersued for $1. She's petty mama. She would devour her court look, and the whole trial was a complete mess. The person who was defending the defendant? Fuck, this is getting too complicated for me. The person defending the guy accusing her of this stuff was quite clearly a very big Gwyneth Paltrow fan.
I'm just under 5'10".
Okay, I am so jealous.
And not only a big Gwyneth Paltrow fan, also a big Taylor Swift fan.
Are you good friends with Taylor Swift?
No.
And we would get the iconic quotes such as,
Ms. Paltrow is not going to be making a statement.
That has been in my vocabulary a lot in 2023. I very much like leaving a conversation with, I wish you well. Speaking of that woman being a very big Taylor Swift fan, Taylor Swift would also start her Eras tour this month. This tour is still ongoing and will continue into 2024, but it has already become the highest grossing tour of all time and the first tour to surpass $1 billion in revenue. There will be 151 shows across 5 continents, and it was called the Eras Tour because it is an homage to all of her albums and different eras of each album. I really like the idea of an Eras tour, and I also think Miley Cyrus would do a fabulous Eras tour. Imagine jumping from Hannah Montana to 7 Things I Hate About You to Bangers Miley to Malibu. Oh my god, it would be fantastic. This tour had a huge cultural, economic, and political impact. Cities would change their names when Taylor was performing there on the day. It boosted business and tourism, and Ticketmaster was extremely scrutinized for ineffective sales and alleged monopoly. Meghan Trainor would release her follow-up single to her surprise hit Made You Look, which was called Mother, and Kris Jenner appeared in the music video. I don't know, something about the sound of the song and a Kardashian being in your music video just felt very 2016. Law Roach would also announce his retirement from the fashion industry in an Instagram post. After Emily Ratajkowski announced her breakup from Eric Andre Jr., she was spotted making out with Harry Styles in the streets of Tokyo. And I think maybe some of the most heartbreaking news that I've discovered this year was that Harry Styles makes out like someone on their GCSE summer after a bottle of Malibu kissing someone for the first time. Kim Kardashian would come to London, and not only would she go attend an Arsenal game, she would also go on a London pub crawl and drink Guinness. Sydney Sweeney had a collaboration with Frank's Bikinis and Ford. I don't know who is doing her marketing, but we need to restructure this. However, I will say the promotional pictures for Frank's Bikini, they ate. Lana Del Rey would receive the Visionary Award at Billboard's Women in Music Awards, and she would also reveal that she was a Alicia Marie and Remy Ashton fan.
I'm so glad I got to meet the vloggers who got me through COVID, Remy Ashton, Ali, and Alicia Marie.
Lana Del Rey, even though her music doesn't quite like align with me, through her acts this year has become one of my favorite people of 2023. But we're only getting started on her. After premiering at the Sundance Film Festival in January, the film Rye Lane was released. Megan Thee Stallion breaks the internet about how stunning she looked as she threw the first pitch at a Houston game. Mugler announced their collaboration with fast fashion brand H&M, and Jennifer Coolidge gave the campest cover on W magazine. She is just that woman!
Do you think Jamie Lee Curtis liked carpets?
Millie Bobby Brown would announce that she was engaged to Jake Bon Jovi, who, if you could not piece 2 and 2 together, is the son of John Bon Jovi. Millie and Jake are respectively 19 and 20, and at first I was like, girl, you're so young. But then I have to remember that Millie Bobby Brown has been in the spotlight for 10 years now, so she probably had to mature very quickly, whereas me at 19 years old was doing this. And I don't think I was in a emotional, physical, or mental state to be making decisions about the rest of my life. It was announced that Kim Kardashian had joined the cast of the new American Horror series alongside Emma Roberts. I can only assume, I don't watch American Horror Story personally, but I can only assume that she actually kind of did a good job because people would have made that viral if it was shit. Lots of dating rumors going about. Cupid was busy this month. Maya Jama and Leonardo DiCaprio were rumored to be dating as she was spotted on his yacht, but she quickly shut that down. She said, "Not on my watch. I'm not going to be grouped into that 25 and under club." Another questionable pairing that was rumored was Kylie Jenner and Timothée Chalamet, but these were mainly coming from reports from accounts like PopCrave, and people were calling it the world's laziest PR relationship because they couldn't even be bothered to go out in public together. And there was also rumors that after 6 years, Taylor Swift and Joe Alwyn had separated. In other relationship news, Sophia Richie got married to Elliot Grange, and what was definitely the biggest wedding of 2023 and maybe the biggest wedding of the 2020s, which was random because Sophia Richie, to me, has not been that girl since like she did a Misguided collaboration in 2017. So why everyone all of a sudden cared about her this month, I don't know. Maybe it was a slow month. But she went super viral. There was obviously a star-studded guest list. This new phrase, quiet luxury, decided to be thrown around as a buzzword for the rest of this year. I don't even have the breath to talk about how much the words quiet luxury annoys me. We saw the first full-length trailer of the Barbie film. I don't know why I'm saying that like I'm so excited. I didn't even go watch the Barbie film. James Corden Late Late Show was thankfully announced that it was going to be cancelled, and it ended with a carpool karaoke special and what I can describe as a Marvel Endgame crossover type of thing with the world's most annoying straight white men. We also got the first look at Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo in the Wicked remake. Coachella was a flop this year, both in terms of there was no real cultural moments, but also the celebrities decided to take this year as the year to dress down at Coachella, and it was no longer cool this year, guys, especially off the hot list to dress up at Coachella. The only real sort of controversy was Frank Ocean pulled out of headlining the second weekend after not favorable reviews from the first weekend. There was a lot of people saying that, you know, that's Frank Ocean, what do you expect? That's how he performs. However, I will have to say, if you're performing on one of the world's biggest stages, I would kind of have a little bit of expectation, especially with how expensive tickets are. And also, we give male performers too much grace, because I know for a fact if someone like Beyonce or Rihanna, or even, actually, you know what, in fact, direct comparison. Rihanna's Super Bowl performance in February was slated for being boring, lazy, sloppy. She was still doing all those performings fucking 50 feet in the air while pregnant. But when Frank Ocean does a fraction of what she did, it's just his thing. One of the other headliners made history, as Blackpink would be the first K-pop act to be headlining, and around 125 million people were speculated to be there at their weekend one headlining slot. Talk show host Jerry Springer very sadly passed away. Bella Hadid would do an AI shoot with Vogue Italia, which again sparked a lot of controversy about how dangerous the AI is. The AI, as if it's one singular person. Like, get that AI out of here. I'm not going if the AI is there. But it sparked a lot of conversation about the maybe it's the AI coming for me. Like, why can't I speak bad about it without me stumbling? People said AI was bad for creative industry. No shit. Sasha Colby would be announced as the winner of season 15 Drag Race. Adele would join Kai Cenat gaming live stream via FaceTime.
Call you right back. I'm streaming with my guy Kai. Hi, Adele.
Ray, Ice Spice, Pink Pantheress, and Nessa Barrett would be revealed as the new faces of Skims. I thought this campaign was kind of cute. I maybe would have casted it slightly differently, but I liked the sentiment of like the new age of pop girls being the face of it. Glenn Powell and Sydney Sweeney would be accused of having an affair during their shooting of their new up-and-coming rom-com, Anyone But You. There was a lot of flirtatious behind-the-scenes footage which was posted, and Glenn Powell broke up with his boyfriend. I wish. Glenn Powell would break up with his girlfriend amidst all this. However, looking back, it was definitely just a PR stunt. Nicki Minaj would jump on the remix of Ice Spice's song Princess Diana, and it would be the first of many appearances of this duo that we'd see throughout 2023. Speaking of jumping on a remix, Doja Cat also jumped onto the remix of SZA's Kill Bill. The song eventually went to #1, which would mark SZA's first #1. Doja Cat and SZA had previously collabed on a song called Kiss Me More, and it was supposed to be part of a trilogy, with a remix of SZA's song Shirt being the final part of it, but unfortunately due to Doja Cat's vocal illness, she was not able to do the remix. And finally, do we all remember that parrot owner who shouted, "Chanel! Chanel!" She was charged for cannabis importing. So,
deep breath. Firstly, are you okay?
As we get on every 1st May, we had the Met Gala. This year's theme was to honor the late Karl Lagerfeld. We saw lots of odes to his time at Chanel, his iconic suit, and of course to his cat. In my opinion, it was one of the more boring recent Met Galas. The main talking point of it was that a cockroach was on the carpet. Also, the carpet was disgusting. It looked like toothpaste. The Writers Guild of America would go on strike, and they would strike for 148 days, mainly due to like film executives playing with the idea of AI to replace writers. We got our first look at Colleen Hoover's It Ends With Us film adaptation, which stars Blake Lively, and girl, these outfits are fugly. These are some of the worst outfits I have ever seen. I have not read that book, but unless that character is written in the book to be dressed as the worst styled person in existence, there is no reason why the stunning Blake Lively should be dressed in these outfits. The King's coronation happened, which cost the British taxpayers £120 million. There was no need for it to cost that much money. And multiple people denied to sing. Katy Perry did it though. K-pop girl group 50/50 would blow up TikTok with their song Cupid. Oh, I need to roll my sleeves up for this one. The UK versus USA got into a heated debate on TikTok due to a lot of food TikTokers over here in the UK doing play-ups and calling their food Chinese food. They couldn't really understand the abbreviation. I didn't realize why it was such a big deal. But I will say Charlie and C is my queen and my comfort person.
Say my name, wear it out.
Philip Schofield would resign from This Morning after he admitted to the rumored inappropriate affair with one of the show's runners, who he had known since the runner was 13. What made this even more weird is when he did an interview with The Sun, he was vaping on a Lost Mary the entire time. It was a dark, dark time of British TV because I had Holly Willoughby asking me on a Tuesday morning how I'm doing and if I'm okay.
Deep breath. Firstly, are you okay?
Oh, how are you doing? I'm okay. I'm sat at home pretty. You're the one at risk of your job. Ed Sheeran would win his court case against the song Marvin Gaye, Let's Get It On. And very sadly, he revealed that he had to miss his grandma's funeral because the court case was in New York. Martha Stewart would become the oldest cover star of Sports Illustrated as she graced it at 81 years old. And my God, does she look fabulous. Imagine if that was your grandma. Oh my God, you'd have a gilf. After the breakup of Taylor Swift and Joe Alwyn, it was rumored that Taylor Swift and the 1975 frontman Matty Healy were now dating. After pictures were going around online. Obviously, Taylor Swift performed at the tour back earlier in the year, and Matty Healy was seen at multiple tour dates of the Eras Tour with Taylor Swift's best friends. This sparked a lot of controversy because Matty Healy is a POS. If you need a translation, that means piece of shit. And a lot of her fans, or not even fans, like I wouldn't consider myself a Swiftie, but I could say that I didn't get why she was dating him. Why would you date someone who has said some of the disgusting stuff that he has said? Including some of the stuff he said was comments towards Ice Spice in a podcast, and in what is my opinion, a backtrack peddling. Taylor Swift would later go on to release a remix of her song Karma with Ice Spice, which would go to the top 10. Halle Bailey starred in the Little Mermaid remake, which premiered this month. Icon Tina Turner very sadly passed away. Kendall Jenner and Bad Bunny would have their first public outing, whilst the other Jenner sister, Kylie Jenner, was revealed to be the face of Jean-Paul Gaultier. And in other fashion news, Dua Lipa would collab with Versace, in which would be the first co-design collection. The collection itself, I personally wasn't a fan. Which sucks because I think Versace is actually quite a fun brand and Dua Lipa has impeccable and very fun style. So I don't really know how we landed on this, which to me was sort of a TikTokification of Versace. Tarte Cosmetics got into drama, which literally transported me to the late 2010s makeup community drama. However, they would be under a lot of fire for giving different influencers different sized rooms and only inviting certain influencers, mainly influencers of color, on only parts of the trip, while inviting white influencers for the whole entire duration. Eurovision would be hosted in the United Kingdom for the first time since 1998. It was done in collaboration with Ukraine, who was the winner of the previous year's competition, however were unable to host it in their country. We submitted the fabulous Mae Muller. We did her dirty. We did not defend that girl because she gave us memes, she gave us looks, and she gave us a fantastic song. The winner would be Sweden with Lorene's entry of Tattoo, who would be the second person ever to win twice and the first female ever. She also broke the record for the most streams achieved by a Eurovision song on a single day. Brian Johnson, who I'm still confused to as he is, he's allegedly an entrepreneur, but why do I only know about this man? Because he decided to reveal this year that he drunk his 17-year-old's blood in order for him to look younger. I don't think that's working, and maybe we need to go back to Botox. Beyonce's Renaissance tour kicked off this month in Stockholm. The setlist mainly focused around her new album Renaissance. She stunned in her outfits, and generally the performance of that tour was impeccable. I went to see it twice, and I would say it's one of the best tours that I've ever been to in my life. You can tell that she is such a professional, and you can tell she just puts so much work and thought into everything she does. She had some amazing outfits, including this fabulous Thierry Mugler inspired bee outfit and some custom Loewe. It would be the 8th highest grossing tour of all time and the 2nd highest grossing for a female. And we would see Blue Ivy come out on a lot of the tour dates and perform, and she is a star. The growth from the first performance to their last performance. Oh, also genuinely people just didn't understand the everybody on mute challenge. It's not hard. So much so that Beyonce had to start handing out postcards before the performance to tell everyone to shut the fuck up. The internet would get in a tizzle over an $8,000 couch being left in the street, and there was a whole load of debates about whether it was hygienic enough to pick up the sofa and put it in, whether you would do it yourself. I don't care. At Cannes Film Festival, Dua Lipa and Romain Gavez were confirmed to be dating for the very first time at their first public outing, and also The Idol was premiered to very not favorable reviews, to say the least. And finally this month, Scandival happened. Vanderpump Rules star Ariana discovers that her boyfriend of 9 years is having an affair with one of her best friends, Raquel, who she reveals is not actually called Raquel. It's a stage name, it's Rachel. She lives with this man. It was all happening in her own house as she was still being best friends with Raquel. This would go viral and would unleash Ariana Madix into a plethora of opportunities, including an appearance on Dancing with the Stars. Like when I tell you, you couldn't go anywhere without hearing this. It even got me myself to start watching Vanderpump Rules.
It's been a while since I saw my face.
Love Island returns for its second series of the year and also saw season 2 favorite Katie McDermott return and Stefflon Don questioning a contestant's sexuality live on air.
I don't know if he even likes females.
Oh no. The way Maya Jama has to go, oh, that's not.
Who is going to be cleaning your toilet, Donald Trump?
Oh, that's not.
This month started the trend of artists being assaulted mid-performance at their own concerts by their own fans. There seemed to be this huge trend which started with a fan throwing a phone at BB Rexha in which she needed stitches for what happened to her. Pink was throwing a wheel of cheese at her and someone's ashes, and it even transcended past singers, and as of recently, Florence Pugh throwing something at her at a film festival. How sad do you have to be to pay money to go to someone's concert to hurl objects at them? The guy who threw the phone at BB Rexha got charged with assault. A submarine which was designed to give people a tour of the Titanic remains went missing with 5 occupants in it. Tickets were $550,000 for a place on the submarine, and 1 hour 45 minutes into the expedition, it went missing. I didn't really understand why people were paying $250K for this because, like, just watch the film with Leonardo DiCaprio, you'll see what it looks like. But in seriousness, our conversation sparked because there was a general consensus of lack of empathy. Everybody was kind of saying it's your own fault because why are you spending $250,000 to go look at this? And the fact that they were willing to risk their lives anyway when the whole thing was controlled by an Xbox controller. After a few days of searching, it was assumed that it had imploded and that all the passengers died instantly due to the impact. I didn't realize how intense a submarine explosion was. Not that I ever would have $250,000 spare to spend, nor would I want to do that when there's a plethora of handbags I would like to buy. But seeing how fast the submarine actually implodes has put me off submarines for life. But I'm not in the tax bracket to be worried about being put off submarines. So let's move on. Glastonbury was this year. Elton John would perform in his retirement performance. Lana Del Rey would also perform. However, she was 30 minutes late because she was getting her hair done. And then Glastonbury have a strict rule about, I don't know, I think it's something to do with like noise law. So they had to cut her performance off because she was late. And then the crowd started chanting. The security guards had to come on and escort her off. She was screaming with the fans. This is another thing that I'm adding on to the Lana Del Rey iconicness list of 2023. Also, Rina Sawayama would allegedly I don't know what's the right word to use, like it's assumed it's Matty Healy she's shading, for being racist and owning the masters of her music during her performance.
Goes out to a white man that watches ghetto gathers and mocks Asian people on a podcast. He also owns my masters!
This would later spark a feud with Charli XCX and Rina Sawayama. The two singers had previously collabed on a song called Beg For You in 2021 and were friends. However, Charli XCX would go on to unfollow her this year, and it's sort of been assumed that it's because Charli is now actually engaged, but at the time she was just dating 1975 drummer George Daniels. Kourtney Kardashian revealed that she was pregnant at the Blink-182 show. For some reason, I just can't get behind Kourtney Kardashian. Like, everything she does just feels lame to me. It's a shame. Pharrell Williams debuted his very first collection as the creative director of Louis Vuitton. Donald Trump got indicted for the second time. McDonald's released their Grimace Shake. I don't fucking get this.
Happy birthday, Grimace.
Alone. It feels very much straight teenage boy humor. So I'm assuming I wasn't the target demographic to find this funny, because I find things like this funny.
What would you like on your ribbon at all?
Olivia Rodrigo would drop her first single from her highly anticipated sophomore album, Guts. The song was called Vampire, and there was a lot of speculation about who the song was about. The Idol was officially released, and the public had the same reviews that the critics had. It was shit. In particular, a lot of the criticism came towards the script, the acting, and also the sexual explicitness and content, especially as it came out that the show was originally supposed to be directed by Amy Seymour till Sam Levinson took over, and her vision of the show was completely different to the one that we saw. I wanted to focus more on Lily Rose Depp's character and the background story, and in behind the scenes photos that were released of Amy's original version, it looked a lot more sincere and less creepy, which again is a common critique in a lot of Sam Levinson's work. In nicer TV news, Freddie Benson and Carly Shay, after years and years of will they won't they, officially got together in season 3 of the reboot of iCarly. Andrew Tate was also indicted on causes of human trafficking and Al Pacino became a father at the age of 83 with his 29-year-old wife. Dave and Central C would release the biggest song of the summer, called Sprinter, as well as a joint EP. The song actually broke the record as the longest running #1 rap song in the UK, as well as J Hus and Drake also dropping a collaboration together. Colleen Ballinger would be accused of general inappropriateness and weirdness towards minors by a lot of her fans who'd been to her shows in the past and been in group chats with her where she would talk to them in a way that adults should not be talking to teenagers. And she decided to respond to all these allegations in the version of a song.
Hey, it's been a while since you saw my face.
Yeah, I don't think you can Miranda sings your way out of these allegations. The vast majority of songs from the Barbie film were released on the Barbie soundtrack in the lead up to the film, including the second collaboration between Nicki Minaj and Ice Spice, which would grant Ice Spice her 4th top 10 of 2023. Pretty good breakout year if you ask me. Also, the general marketing behind Barbie was completely genius. You had the Barbie Dreamhouse Airbnb. Really felt like a exciting film moment in which, because I wouldn't consider myself a film person, I don't really have the attention span to watch film. And as I said, I didn't even go watch the Barbie film, but I don't usually get involved in any film discourse, but I wasn't liking the Barbie stuff. So you won me over. Natalie Nunn of Bad Girls Club and Baddies fame would get a shout out from Nicki Minaj and accost Ice Spice.
Me and my sis are both Capricorns.
Leanne Pinnock from Little Mix would be the second member of the band to release solo music. And Molly May would step down as the creative director of Pretty Little Thing. And in other fast fashion news, Shein decided to take a bunch of influencers to a Shein factory, which a lot of people has accused of being a fake factory, which they have designed just to take these influencers to like try and like fool people into thinking that they are actually an ethical brand. Obviously, the influencers who won on this trip got a lot of slack because it's like, girl, you don't need to do everything for the paycheck. But including this one girl who was labeled as a confidence activist. What does that mean?
Am I saying you copied me by getting married in Italy?
Taylor Russell and Harry Styles would be rumored to be dating, and then later on in the year, we saw multiple sightings of them, so that's pretty much confirmed to be true now. Other news of relationships, Ariana Grande and Dalton Gomez were rumored to be going through a divorce, and it was also rumored that she was dating her co-star in Wicked, Ethan Slater, otherwise known as the guy who played SpongeBob in SpongeBob the Musical. This was very messy because Ethan Slater was actually also married and with kids, and the timelines were a little murky, and neither of them have really publicly spoken about it and are still kind of shy and keep their relationship private, which to me screams guilt. I don't know. It looks shady to me. And also Sofia Vergara and Joe Manganiello were going through a divorce, and Rosalia and Ra Alejandro were calling off their engagement. That Cupid who came back early in the year must have been assassinated because something was going on in July. Naomi Campbell would announce that she would be doing a collection with Pretty Little Thing. Of course, this got a lot of slack because Pretty Little Thing, in the nicest phrasing possible, is viewed as bottom barrel fashion. And of course, Naomi Campbell is one of the greatest supermodel working with pretty much every high fashion brand. However, Naomi still stood by that she designed the collection. Kourtney and Kim Kardashian would go through a public beef this month during the airing of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, where Kim would accuse Kourtney of copying her, more specifically her wedding. I got married in Italy.
Am I saying you copied me by getting married in Italy? Who performed at my wedding?
We got another entry debuting at #1 on Lana Del Rey's Iconicness of 2023 list, and that is she took up a shift at the Waffle House. And in other what the fuck news, Gigi Hadid was charged with possession of marijuana in the Cayman Islands. However, she was cleared because she had legally obtained it in America. Elon Musk, after buying Twitter, would announce that he would now be renaming it as X. And at the same time, Instagram would announce that they were releasing their own version of Twitter called Threads. It got 100 million users signed up in 5 days, which broke the record for the fastest amount of users to sign up to a social media platform in the history. Just the history in general. However, I don't know where the fuck those 100 million users are now, because didn't that app die? I don't even have it on my phone anymore. After a lot of teasing, we finally got the long-awaited day of Barbenheimer. Barbie and Oppenheimer were two films which debuted, I don't know if debuted is the right word in film, on the same day, and they were both expected to be some of the highest grossing films of the year. So it was a very anticipated day. Go and watch both films in a day, and it would be a Barbenheimer day. And within 2 weeks of the films being released, it had made $1 billion combined. Barbie would go on to win the war and become the biggest grossing film of the year. And the success was so big that Mattel has announced 8 different spin-offs. Margot Robbie also did a fantastic press run for the Barbie film. She got out her Chanel contract just in time for the Barbie film press tours starting, and she finally served us some looks. After years of coming up with the most boring outfits, she finally ate. And thank God, because I was worried. Barbie's fun. In the world of childhood healing, Lindsay Lohan and Jessie J, two of my childhood icons, would both give birth. So now they are not only my metaphysical mothers, but they are both real life literal mothers. Also in the world of childhood healing, it was announced that Ryan from High School Musical was in fact gay, as Lucas Gabriel 8-year-old made an appearance as his character in High School Musical, the series. Did I say that too many? Why would Disney come up with the world's most complicated name for a show? Ice Spice and Central C would have a collab that was leaked. Sinead O'Connor would sadly pass away at the age of 56. Miss Italy announced that only participants who were born female were allowed to enter the competition as an act to stop trans women from entering. And in an act of protest, over 100 trans men would sign up for the competition. Taylor Swift. Who the fuck is Taylor Swift? Taylor Swift would release the re-record of Speak Now and would have her ex, Taylor Lautner, star in the music video for one of the songs. And Harry Styles would conclude his Love on tour after 2 years. Keke Palmer attended an Usher concert, and her partner and father to her child, Darius Dalton, would tweet, "It's the outfit though, you're a mum." This obviously gained a lot of backlash because it's misogynistic and she can still obviously wear what she wants. And it was just kind of downright disrespectful. Winnie Harlow and Leomi Anderson would be two other people who would go to the Usher tour and have little viral moments. But Keke Palmer takes the biscuit because she went on to then star in the Usher music video as the ultimate act of fuck you. It was speculated that Keke broke up with Darius after this. And in November, Keke was granted a restraining order against Darius. And I love Keke Palmer so much. I hope she's okay. Travis Scott would release his studio album Utopia and bring out up-and-coming female rapper Sexy Red on tour. Kylie Jenner and Jordan Woods. This shook me way more than everyone else. I'm sorry, where was the noise about this? Kylie Jenner and Jordan Wood would reunite for the first time after 4 years since their feud over Tristan Thompson. And it was at the infamous sushi restaurant where a lot of other celebrities have been papped before. But it later came out in a Kardashians episode that they've actually been friends for the past 4 years. But I feel like this didn't make as much noise as I expected it to make. Like, did we not forget the copious amounts of debates we had to sit through when these two fell out in 2019? And then they were spotted together, and I feel like the world talked about it for the total of 2 days. Davide and Ekansu, the winners of Love Island Season 8, were reported to break up. However, they were not actually broken up, as far as they say. Jimbo becomes the first international queen to win a US franchise in All Stars 8. And in other reality TV news, it was announced that The Golden Bachelor would be airing, which would basically be a senior citizen version of The Bachelor. Euphoria star Angus Cloud very sadly passed away, which resulted in a lot of touching tributes from fellow Euphoria cast members. Dylan Sprouse and Barbara Palvin got married. will.i.am and Britney Spears would reprise their duo after their hit song Scream and Shout 10 years later. However, this one was less favorable with the crowds. It didn't get very good reviews. Continuing on the trend of fans throwing stuff at concerts, a girl threw a bra at Drake on stage and it would be held up, and it went viral due to the surface area of the cup. So much so that the girl ended up getting a Playboy deal. And when someone threw water at Cardi B on stage, Cardi B fought back and threw a microphone at the fan. Doja Cat would go through a lot of controversy. Fans started to call her out due to her dating a questionable man, Jay Cyrus, who has a history of just disgusting comments in which she didn't really seem to care. And she told fans that they needed to get a job and that she doesn't love them, and if they called themselves kittens, which was the names that they had like named themselves, because obviously she's Doja Cat, that it was weird. And in the aftermath of all this, she ended up losing 500,000 followers. Latto would be the first rapper to score #1 on the Billboard 100 in 2023 with her collaboration with BTS's Jungkook 7. The song would go on to be the fastest song to reach 1 billion streams on Spotify, which was only set by Miley Cyrus earlier in the year. Over here in the UK charts, we had Madonna, Shania Twain, and Kylie Minogue all charting in the top 20 at the same time, which was obviously very iconic because they are legends from the same era who are still getting hit songs in 2023. I can't believe I'm speaking about sport again, but over here in London, in Wimbledon, history was made at the ladies' single championship as the first unseeded player won the competition. Jonah Hill's ex-girlfriend would accuse him of emotional abuse, in which he sent her disgusting text saying that his boundaries included surfing with men, modeling, posting pictures of yourself in bathing suits, friendships with women who are in unstable places and from your wild recent past beyond getting lunch or coffee or something respectful. I fucking hate this story infuriated me because she is a surfer as a job. The case of men who want a fucking bad bitch but can't handle a bad bitch when they get into the relationship, and the bad bitch continues to be a bad bitch. And finally, Jeffree Star released a meat and makeup store. That's gotta be some cross-contamination.
10 men on my lunch to fuck me, and your daddy's the biggest spender.
Tory Lanez was finally sentenced to 10 years in prison after shooting Megan Thee Stallion, being found guilty for it in 2022 for 3 felonies to the shooting. Throw away those keys, if you're asking me. It was the 10-year anniversary of Ariana Grande's debut album, Yours Truly, in which she performed 6 of her songs again live from London. One of those songs included The Way, which featured her late ex-boyfriend, Mac Miller, and she did a beautiful strings arrangement over his verse, and it was really sweet and one of my favorite music highlights from this year. Call of Duty announced that you are now able to play as Nicki Minaj, Snoop Dogg, and 21 Savage in the game. It was reported that Lil Tay, the social media sensation who has been pretty inactive over the past few years, had passed away. This later turned out to be a hoax. She said that her account was hacked. She came out with a song all about money pretty soon after. To me, it's a PR stunt, and I don't like playing with death on a PR stunt. British Vogue and American Vogue shared a cover of the greatest of all-time supermodels, which featured Linda Evangelista, Cindy Crawford, Chrissy Turlington, and Naomi Campbell. And the digital cover of British Vogue this month was Colleen Rooney in light of the Agatha Christie drama, which a lot of people had to say about. People were saying that she is not high fashion. Why is Colleen Rooney on the cover of British Vogue? First of all, it wasn't the cover, it was the digital cover. And second of all, she's a fucking wag. And those wags in the early 2000s actually dominated a lot of the fashion trend. Other news of fashion, Kylie Jenner became the new face for acne. Zendaya did a collaboration between designer Chet Lowe and Smartwater, which was absolutely beautiful. A woman on board an American Airlines flight to Dallas freaks out, starts to claim that there is not a real person at the back, and she's kind of an unsung hero. SZA released the music video to her 6th single from her album SOS to her song Snooze, which featured a plethora of celebrities including Benny Blanco and Justin Bieber, who were all playing her love interests. People were saying that if they were Hailey, they wouldn't be happy. In all honesty, I don't think I would be happy either, just purely because SZA is one of the sexiest women alive, and the way Justin Bieber was looking at her, I would too. However, it was all for promotional material because a remix of the song featuring Justin Bieber was to later come out. Speaking of Justin Bieber, Scooter Braun, who is Justin Bieber's manager, started to mysteriously lose a lot of clients this month. Ariana Grande, Idina Menzel, and Demi Lovato. I still don't know why they all left. Do we have an update on this? We were transported back to the year of 2020 because Disney Channel stars Miley Cyrus and Selena Gomez were both releasing music on the same day. Victoria Monet released her debut studio album titled Jaguar 2, which I'll speak a little bit about more later. But she did get a hit single, On My Mama, from this album. The music video is one of my favorite music videos from this year. Also, if you want to know all the rest of my top 100 songs of the year, I've got you covered. I made a Spotify playlist of my top 100 songs released in 2023. I've also done a Substack article in which I detailed my top 100 songs and more specifically gave a write up to the top 10, but you can see the whole list there. I'm going to be using Substack a little bit more in 2024, sorry. We're out of 2023, girl. Leave it behind. Just gonna use it to share my opinions on like pop culture and fashion commentary, which don't deserve a whole video. So subscribe over there. Red, White, and Blue, which was a gay, you're gay. Oh my God. It was a gay film that was released on Amazon Prime. Doja Cat would release her 2nd single from her album Scarlet, which would be Paint the Town Red, which would be absolutely huge and go #1 in the US and UK. Donald Trump's mugshot was released. Lizzo would land herself in a lawsuit when 3 of her backing dancers would accuse her of sexual harassment and weight shaming. Bobby Althoff was a huge name in pop culture, I guess, this year. She started a podcast named The Really Good Podcast, in which Drake was the 2nd ever guest on, so she got a lot of claims being an industry plant. A lot of claims that she was stealing her whole kind of get up, the awkward interview style of British interviewer Amelia de Moldenberg and her series Chicken Shop Date. Me personally, I believe she 1000% stole that blueprint off Amelia, and Amelia de Moldenberg needs to copyright her personality. However, in this month, Bobby went to Drake's concert, and as I said, her whole kind of shtick is that she's rude. She was pretending that she didn't really care while at a Drake concert, and following that, the podcast between Bobby and Drake was removed from YouTube, and they both unfollowed each other on social media. And speaking of concerts, the Queen Adele did a Las Vegas residency this year, which looked iconic, and I'm very upset I didn't get to go. However, my highlight from her residency was when a guy was like standing up and singing, and these people behind him were getting really annoyed at him. The security guard went to tell him off, and Adele was actually like, can we not? Like, we're at a concert. Let people sing and shout. And I agree. Those concert tickets were not cheap. So if I've spent all that money, I'm not going to sit there and tap my foot at most. Speaking of music industry titans like Adele, Addison Rae released her debut EP, AR. Addison had previously brought out a single called Obsessed, and then never really returned to music after that. But a lot of her stuff ended up leaking online, including a scrapped Lady Gaga song called Nothing on But the Radio, which Gaga's fan base were huge fans of, and it was one of Lady Gaga's most famous unreleased tracks. The fact that Addison had bought it off her, she already had the gays in the palm of her hands, and I have to say, she fucking ate that EP up. Britney Spears announced that she'd be divorcing her partner Sam Asghari after only marrying him last year. Neighborhood singer Jesse Rutherford would be slammed for some pretty fucking fucked up lyric about his ex Billie Eilish. Eilish. Billie dated Jesse when he was 31 and she was only 20 years old. And Billie had revealed that she met him and was really a big fan of him at 17. And Jesse Rutherford released a song with the lyrics, "She's been listening to me since 2013. I know she's got daddy issues. Welcome to the family. She said, Jesse, baby, won't you write a song about me?" That is not okay. Exes Maya Jama and Stormzy were spotted backstage at his All Points East festival. And Scott Van der Sloot from Love Island UK would go on to make a second of 3 appearances of this year in the Love Island franchise on Love Island USA before eventually appearing in the Love Island Games spin-off at the end of the year. Marking him, I'm pretty sure, to be the person who has appeared on the most Love Island series. Bianca Consoria and Kanye West were spotted on a boat in Vienna doing pretty suspicious activities. His jeans were down by his ankles. Let's just say that. C. China would be brought out at Reading during Tion Wayne's set. It was a big year for C. China after she blew up on TikTok with her song Last Laugh. Since gone on to, as I said, come on stage at Reading and also graced the cover of Dazed magazine and also released a remix of the song with American rapper NLE Chopper. I love C. China. I think she's got a fantastic image, fantastic branding. I believe as of right now, she said she's done with music, but if she ever feels in the place to come back, I think she could have a fabulous career. And I just really hope, as she is so young, she has the right people around her. Riverdale would finally come to an end this year. After 7 grueling series, those actors are finally freed from the chains of whatever the fuck that show became. Also, off the back of the Barbie music, Billie Eilish's song What Was I Made For was completely blowing up everywhere. It pretty much became the song of the year from the film of the year, but what really mattered was it birthed us this.
Oh, go and join me.
Mama is the guy on the trees.
Vogue World would come to London, which saw performances from FKA Twigs and also saw the 4 models from The Greatest of Them All cover grace the stage. Ice Spice collaborated with Dunkin' Donuts on a Munchkin drink. The Munchkin drink had over 1,000 calories. Each drink contained between 165 and 181 grams of sugar. Baby girl, that is not coffee. Usher would be announced that he would be performing at the 2024 Super Bowl, and a lot of people have said that, like, Usher, really? Usher has got a plethora of hits to his name. As far as male artists go, I think he's a really good choice. Obviously, coming off the back of someone like Rihanna, in terms of names to follow up, it's going to be pretty hard to beat that. But I'm personally excited for Usher's performance. Nicki Minaj would release her single Last Time I Saw You in the lead up to her Pink Friday 2 album to come towards the end of the year. Taylor Swift was spotted at a Kansas City game after Kansas City Chiefs player Travis Kelce publicly announced his admiration for her, which obviously sparked a lot of romance rumors, which, as we know, came out to be true, and they kind of became the it couple for the second half of 2023. In one of her performances, she changed the lyrics to Karma is the guy on the Chiefs.
Karma is the guy on the Chiefs.
I'll give it to her. Like, I'm not the biggest Taylor Swift fan, but this couple kind of eat. And Travis Kelce's so fucking hot. I'm sorry. Over in the world of fashion, 50 items were stolen from Balmain's Spring/Summer 24 collection and had to be remade days prior to the show. Pizza would crash multiple runways this fashion month, including runways for Coach, Gucci, and Burberry. JT from the City Girls really was an it girl for me in 2023. In terms of her solo music, fabulous, but also she really came into her own, I personally think, in the fashion world. This month, she was the face of a Poster Girl campaign and also the Moalola X Beats campaign. And the Victoria's Secrets fashion show did eventually return, and it kind of made no noise. Over here in the UK, there was a lot of heated debates going on in the media due to a ban being placed on XL Bully Dog. A lot of people were saying that it's not the dog's fault, it's the owner's fault, but then other people were saying, like, well, if the owners can't control them, then we have to do something else about this. And also, Daniel Khalif escaped the Wandsworth prison, and it was later found out that he only, like, got down a couple of miles, and it took them days to find him. Everybody was like, let him go at that point. The Renaissance tour made its way over to America, and more specifically Los Angeles, where we saw so many celebrities roll out. Beyonce is your favorite celebrity's favorite celebrity. Diana Ross would take to the stage, but also other celebrities in attendance in the audience would be Keke Palmer, Sofia Vergara, Kris Jenner, Tracee Ellis Ross, Prince Harry, Duchess Meghan, Kelly Rowland, Gabrielle Union, Dwayne Wade, Issa Rae, Offset, Jessica Alba, Selena Gomez, and it was the first public sighting of Kylie Jenner and Timothée Chalamet as a couple. On top of which, Megan Thee Stallion would make an appearance at Beyonce's Houston show. Really touched my heart. We also got Megan Thee Stallion's and Cardi B's second collab this month in Bongos, and Drake would make more shots at Megan. He's so lame. Also, Drake and Halle Berry would come into fight after he used one of her pictures with slime over as cover art, which she had specifically said she didn't like this and can you not do this, and he did it anyway. Fucking loser, 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 lame, lame. And speaking of waste of space of men, Chris Brown would come for Tinashe. After Tinashe revealed in an interview that she was embarrassed about her collaboration with Chris Brown, and then Chris Brown would come for her and say, name 5 Tinashe song challenge, everybody dead. Name fucking 5 Chris Brown crime challenge, everybody lives. Matilda Hilda Jurf would grace the cover of Vogue Scandinavia, which was a pretty big deal for an influencer. However, she also did land herself in some hot waters this year, as she has a brand called Jurf Avenue, which released some pajamas, and people on TikTok were like showing dupes of where you can find the pajamas for a cheaper price, and she took out copyright strikes against all these people on TikTok to get their TikToks taken down. I get both sides. We're in a cost of living crisis, girl. Not everybody can afford high-end sustainable fashion, but also at the same time, can we not promote that? Do you know what I mean? It's a double-edged sword. Russell Brand documentary would come out on Channel 4. It was listed on the TV guide as just dispatches, and nobody really knew what the subject was until a few hours before when it was leaked. And some pretty horrific details would come out about him in that documentary. Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis would also come under fire. They both wrote letters seeking leniency and sentencing Danny Masterson after he was convicted on 2 rape accounts. Sophie Turner and Joe Jonas would announce that they would be divorcing, and Sophie Turner would also sue Joe Jonas for custody of the children. The final season of Netflix's Sex Education came out to not very good reviews, and I unfortunately have to agree with the reviews. I loved that show, but this last season just wasn't it, and I in fact didn't make it past episode 2 because it literally just felt like a different show. Sharon Osbourne came out to warn others about the effects that could be caused from Ozempic. Sharon Osbourne is a pretty trash human. If you've watched my X Factor video, you would know she's no angel. She's not that bitch or anything, but she ate that one little thing. The glamorization of Ozempic this year in the media has been slightly terrifying, and the amount of celebrities genuinely on it and people that I even know in my life have gone on it, and it's so easy to get hold of, is literally terrifying. And over in the world of Kardashians, Kim Kardashian stunned in this shoot by Nadia Lee Cohen. Him and Kourtney's feud went further when it was announced that they had separate group chats without Kourtney in. He was also late to the Victoria Beckham show, which I was not impressed by. I don't care if you're Kim Kardashian, you arrive on time. And Kylie Jenner fucking ate this Schiaparelli look. Her waist!
I think it's just ridiculous. Put your phone down.
The UK version of Big Brother would return to the screens on ITV for the first time after 5 years. And the premiere and some of the evictions were simulcast on ITV1, which would mean it's either the first show or the first reality show to be aired on all 5 major UK television channels. After Philip Schofield previously leaving This Morning, Holly Willoughby would also leave This Morning this month after an alleged planned kidnap against her. This woman's been through it this year. Eminem would release a Mom Spaghetti Pasta Sauce, obviously an ode to his lyric. This feels very 20 years late cash grab, but it did sell out very quickly. The bedbug epidemic spread in Paris, and once again, the internet does not take anything seriously because this was just made into a meme. Tate McRae would really break that sort of threshold that she was previously at with her song Greedy. It would land her in a pretty heated debate about her being an industry plant, which she's literally not. I feel like the people who have called Tate McRae an industry plant this year actually are just quite out of touch with, maybe you're just getting old, to be honest. Like, I didn't want to say it, but damn girl, can you still apply for an 18 to 25 rail card? Because she has been a very big force in TikTok and Gen Z's sort of music taste, and I know a lot of people who are younger who are huge fans of her. The idea that just because you've never heard of her equals industry plant just gives big boomer energy to me. The song itself was pretty good. It was very heavily 2000s inspired. You could hear a lot of like Timbaland's Nelly Furtado in it. Alongside this song came the rise of Tube Girl. Tube Girl is a girl named Sabrina who lives in London who would go viral on TikTok being like, look how confident I'm on the tube and filming myself. People hated on this, but I thought it was a cute trend. Sabrina Carpenter would release her music video to her song Feather, which would end up being her second minor scandal of the year because some of the music video was filmed in a church, and when asked about if she was worried about causing offense to the Catholic Church, she said Jesus would have been a carpenter. She kind of fucking ate that. Like, damn, I love that girl. The Beckham documentary would drop on Netflix, which apparently it focused mainly on the football side of things. However, the one iconic pop culture moment that came out of it was, of course, when Victoria said that she grew up middle class and David would come out and correct her that she drove to school in a Rolls Royce. Victoria would then go on to post the slogan tee, which... she just gets it. While we're on the topic of Wags and documentary, the Wagatha Christie documentary came out on Sky. Can you hear that? Who the fuck is blowing a fucking horn like that at 8 p.m. on a Monday? Phoebe Philo, the former creative director of Celine, would come out with her own brand. Sexy Red announced that she was pregnant. Shout out Sexy Red. I fucking love her. I think she's got such a unique sense of identity. I really want to hear more from her in 2024. Speaking of Sexy Red, Drake also released an album, which Sexy Red featured on. Troye Sivan releases his music videos to One of Your Girls, which he ate down this look. And it featured Ross Lynch. Troye Sivan had a huge year in music and probably his biggest year in his career to date. Off the back of his songs Rush, Got Me Started, and One of Your Girls, creative direction of this era of his career was chef's kiss. Kendall Jenner and Bad Bunny faced a campaign for Gucci, kind of to me was very heavily inspired by old Victoria and David Beckham pictures, and you ain't not gonna beat Posh and Beck. Jada Pinkett Smith would reveal in an interview that she had actually been separated from Will Smith since 2016, which would obviously mean the infamous slap incident that happened. They were separated at the time, which, to be honest, everybody was like, what? But that kind of made me like Will Smith even more. Like, go him for still standing up for her so hard. Taylor Swift Eras Tour movie would drop, and the Eras Tour, the film, would become the highest grossing concert film of all time. The premiere was in LA, and Beyonce would appear at the premiere red carpet alongside Taylor, because throughout this year, Stan wars have been going crazy between the Swifties and the Beehive. Obviously, both have gone on absolutely huge tours this year, and Taylor's was higher grossing, but a lot of people were saying Beyonce's was more skilled. People were arguing about who was the better tour. I kind of love that these two queens just had a mother off on the red carpet and told their fans to shut the fuck up. Like, that's iconic. Millie Bobby Brown, she had a funny month. She told us that a sidekick told her that she was a feminist, and she was not happy about us taking pictures of our food.
I do not take pictures of my meals. That is where I draw the line. I think it's just ridiculous. Put your phone down, eat your meal.
Baby girl, you need to breathe. You need to breathe, because my Instagram story will be eating before me if I'm spending £30 on that meal. Someone will have to see it. Britney Spears would release her memoir this month. She revealed a lot of information, particularly about her relationship with Justin Timberlake. Some of the things she revealed in the memoir included Justin Timberlake's infidelity, that the fact that she actually fell pregnant and Justin wasn't happy with her being pregnant and put some pressure on her to have an abortion, the fact that he broke up with her over text. This.
Walking our way was a guy with a huge blinged out medallion. He was flanked by 2 giant security guards. Jay got all excited and said so loud, "Oh yeah, faux shiz, genuine. What's up, homie?"
But she was also photographed with J Balvin and Maluma. Very lucky lady. South African artist Tyler would go viral due to her song Water picking up traction on TikTok. She's a very exciting breakout star of the year, and she would be the youngest South African artist to enter the Billboard Top 100, and her song would end up going top 10. Billie Eilish and Devin Lee Carlson step out together at Halloween. This is obviously, of course, very iconic because they are both Jesse Rutherford's exes. Again, like Taylor Swift and Beyonce, I love when two mothers come together to have a mother of convention. Taylor Swift would release the 1989 re-release and would take up 8 of the top 10 spots on the Billboard 100. Friends actor Matthew Perry would very sadly pass away. Bjork and Rosalia announced that they will be collaborating on a song together. And over in the world of the Kardashian, Kylie Jenner launched her brand Kai. She originally just posted Kai with a black leather jacket, and people didn't know what this was going to be. But it ended up being a mid-range clothing brand, so it was like I think all the pieces were under $200. She would collaborate with designers such as Entire Studios on these collections, and to this date she's released 3. But the reviews have been pretty not good. However, on the other side of the Kardashian fashion empire, Skims would launch Skims for Men. See sporting icons like Neymar Jr., Nick Bosa, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the face of the campaign, and it would later go on to be the official underwear partner for the NBA. Also in the world of Skims, Kim released this iconic nipple bra. I'm sorry, she fucking ate that. I'm not the biggest Kardashian fan, but when they do things like this, like, I do sometimes have to give them their 10. I say I'm not the biggest Kardashian fan. One Kardashian that I'm a huge fan of is North West, and she graced the cover of ID this month. And I'm sorry, at 10 years old, gracing the cover of ID magazine and hanging out with Ice Spice, she's a legend in the making.
The extra lovey on the red carpet.
Megan Thee Stallion would announce that she would continue to be an independent artist in this new era of music and release her song Cobra, which was my probably favorite song of the year. And in terms of other music releases, Dua Lipa made her return to music with Houdini. It was a big day for gays that day because Bjork and Rosalia dropped their collab, and Pink Panthers dropped her album, and Dua Lipa dropped Houdini. God, I was booked and busy on that Friday. Meagle would announce to be shut down, and I'm sorry, thank God. There was any like safeguarding for the children on those apps. Even though if you had to click something to say you're over the age of 18 before a penis was showing in your face. Patrick Dempsey would be named Time's Sexiest Man of the Year of 2023. I kind of can't argue with this. He's fucking hot. And Taylor Swift would be named as Time's Person of the Year. Harry Styles is spotted to have a shaved head. Do we, like, how is that news? And Kim Kardashian got a tattoo. I know I said Harry Styles shaving his head shouldn't be news, and then I'm gassing out about Kim Kardashian getting a tattoo, but she put a bumper sticker on a Bentley. All these girls who have based their fact that they're not getting tattoos because of that line, their whole personality trait is out the window. She would also be one of GQ's Men of the Year alongside Travis Scott and Jacob Elordi. Jacob Elordi's shoot for this, It is very rare that a man scores high cunt on the Richter scale, but Jacob Elordi is that one exception. He would also star in the film Saltburn and Priscilla this year, but Saltburn was released this year and he would continue to flirt with his co-star Barry. And like, I genuinely think he's been to like a personality cam before these PR rollouts, because all of a sudden he's serving outfit, he's funny at interviews, and he's kind of my favorite man of 2023. SAG strike would officially end this month, and it was the longest strike in SAG history. Drew Barrymore would say that her show would still be coming back despite that, which got a lot of flack, and then she retracted her statement, and then the SAG strike ended like a couple of days later anyway, so everyone was kind of like, you just made a fool of yourself for no reason. The Crown would come back for season 6 to less than favorable reviews. Suki Waterhouse announces that she is expecting her first child with actor Robert Pattinson. Carly Kloss acquires ID from Vice Media. Naughty's British royalty girl band Girls Aloud announced that they will be coming back for an arena tour. 10 years since their last performance together, and obviously to honor the late band member Sarah Harding. Low Anthony is revealed to have actually joined the military, and this is really sad. I see a lot of people kikiing about this on Twitter and making jokes about it, but it's really sad to see, and people blamed his mum a lot on Twitter, I saw. But as someone who grew up watching Low Anthony from 12 years old, I'm basing my whole entire personality literally around him. As far as I remember, his mum was always so supportive towards him and him being inauthentically himself from such a young age. So I just hope that her or whoever is in his life supports him on whatever is going on. But in other YouTuber news, Trisha Paytas announced that she'd be pregnant with her second baby. Ice Spice would release a chia pet. 2 big films, including Disney's Wish and Hunger Games: The Ballad of a Songbird, were released, both getting favorable reviews. Unlike the trailer for Mean Girls, the movie, the musical, I don't know if that's the official title, starring Renee Rapp, which trailer dropped this month, and it's getting slaughtered online. However, what isn't getting slaughtered is Walmart did a Mean Girls themed Black Friday advert and got together the majority of the Mean Girls cast. I believe Amanda Seyfried said that a lot of the Mean Girls cast would have been happy to come back to do Mean Girls, the movie, the musical. The way that I'm just giving this film a new name, but they wouldn't pay them enough. Squid Games: The Challenge would be Netflix's latest reality show to drop, and it was fucking good. It went #1 in so many countries, and it broke the record for the highest cash prize in reality TV history, which is $4.56 million, and the largest cast in reality TV history, which is 456 contestants. I actually made a whole entire video about Squid Games, the challenge, and then I didn't post it because I didn't think it was very good. So sorry. That will forever be in the Looking for Lewis Lost Media pile. The Beatles would go #1 in 2023 with their song Now and Then. It is a song that John Lennon wrote and recorded around 1977 but left unfinished, and 3 decades later it was completed by his surviving bandmates Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr using overdubs and guitar tracks by George Harrison, who died in 2001. This was also helped due to AI, and I don't really understand the scientific stuff behind it, so I'm not going to get into it. Snoop Dogg would announce that he is quitting smoking weed, but then would later, I literally think hours later, retract the statement and say that it was just part of a brand deal. Sean Combs, otherwise known as P. Diddy, would be accused of sexual assault by his ex-partner Cassie. It was later settled the next day out of court. However, he would also be hit with 2 more following lawsuits from 2 other women. Clips of Northwest from the Kardashians would go viral as she goes to critique Met Gala look. Scream actress Melissa Barrera would be fired from upcoming Scream project due to her pro-Palestine stance. The production company should be ashamed of itself. She was advocating for a ceasefire, and I don't think anyone should be fired from a project because their standpoint is to be free Palestine. As well as Jenna Ortega leaving Scream, which was later revealed the 2 had nothing to do with each other. The Grammys nominations were announced with SZA leading the nominations, and Victoria Monet would receive 7 nominations for her project Jaguar 2, including her daughter Hazel being nominated for Grammy, making her the youngest Grammy nominee ever at 2 years old. A date for a dinner reservation on The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody finally came around, and Cliff Richards would go on this morning to fat shame Elvis Presley.
Can we put it off? Because he'd put on a lot of weight. Oh, right. And I thought, if I'm having a photograph taken with him and it's going to be hanging on my refrigerator, he's got to look good. And I put it off, and of course, then he died.
Should never put it off just because they're a little bit heavier.
This Morning is cursed. Take that show off TV.
Lesson is to stop inviting you places. But you can't.
Beyonce's Renaissance film would premiere over here in London. Well, she also did it in LA, but London seemed to be the main one, considering Taylor Swift turned up to that one. As you know, a solid motherly support. Big month for Nicki Minaj. She would announce that her British alter ego, Martha Zelansky, has died. And she would obviously release her 6th studio album, Pink Friday 2. This was very hyped, this album. She had been teasing this album for a long time now, and she had been making multiple tweets saying that this is the best body of work that she will ever put out. She also teased that the collaboration list would break the internet, so there was a lot of speculation that artists like Rihanna, Taylor Swift, and Beyonce were going to be on the album. none of which were. However, the rumor that Billie Eilish was going to be on the album was true, apart from the fact that it wasn't actually a feature. She just sampled one of Billie's songs and rapped over it. In my honest opinion, I'm not the biggest Nicki Minaj fan, but I don't think the body of work is awful. Well, it's probably the worst thing she's put out, but also she has one of the most insane discographies. So it's like, however, I think she set herself up to fail when she called it Pink Friday 2 because it bared no resemblance to Pink Friday 1, literally one of my favorite albums ever. A lot of people were expecting that, despite the fact she was saying it had nothing to do with Pink Friday 1, which just left people being like, so why are we calling it Pink Friday 2 if it has no relation or correlation? She would also have a pretty iconic promo leading up to it with Gag City, where people were creating AI pink generated images in this place called Gag City, and Kanye West's new album, Tracklist, leaked, which had New Body on. However, it was revealed that Nicki wouldn't clear her New Body verse because she had moved on from it. Cardi B, however, would separate with her partner Offset and then come for Nicki Minaj on Twitter. George Santos would be expelled from the US House of Representatives and then would go on to appear on the Ziwi talk show. The British Fashion Awards happened and Rita Ora would turn up in a Primark dress after she collaborated with a fast fashion brand earlier in the year. It was a big month for UK hun culture. Denise Welch would have a death hoax, which she would then have to address on Loose Woman. And in the death hoax, it was that she had passed away due to Farida from Big Brother running over her with Kerry from Big Brother's mobility scooter. We would also get the birth of Hun Marge, AI-generated Marge Simpson, who would go about doing Hun things, like going to Costa Coffee. And we would have this iconic newscaster accidentally put up the middle finger live on the news. It would later come out that she was actually counting down and having a bit of fun, but she shouldn't have to apologize. Free the middle finger. We very sadly lost an icon, Sophie Anderson, who was one half of the adult film duo Destroyers. It comes after her boyfriend also passed away a few weeks earlier, and also she had her own death hoax a month prior. I can just hope that whatever happened, she's at peace now, and my thoughts are with her friends and family, as with everyone who we have lost this year. Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco would go official with their relationship, which was pretty controversial because not only was Benny Blanco a pretty problematic person, but he's also said some questionable stuff about Selena herself. And in other news about relationship drama, Matt Rife, comedian, would go on the Cancelled podcast, which is Tana Mojo and Brooke Schofield's podcast, in which he would pretend like he had no idea who Brooke Schofield was. Come to find out in a later cancelled episode that he actually was dating her at the time and had multiple other girlfriends, which was why he was pretending he had no idea who Brooke was. Chanel and Balenciaga would host shows in Manchester and Los Angeles. You know, representatively, is that the word? Respectively is the word I was looking for. I almost got there. The Balenciaga show would see the likes of Cardi B and Alex Consani take the runway. And they had a collaboration with Air One in which they released an Air One X Balenciaga juice and hoodie. And the Chanel show was over in Manchester. Aldi doing a PR stunt of a fake Kate Moss eating Aldi in Manchester. And my final story is there was a lot of snogging this month. Actor Louis Partridge and singer Olivia Rodrigo were spotted snogging. Jeremy Allen White and Rosalia, after her breakup with Raul Alejandro, were also caught snogging. Drake and Camila Cabello were spotted together on a boat. However, it's not confirmed if that was romantically or platonically. And finally, Bad Bunny and Kendall Jenner broke up, which means he's available. And with that closes the chapter of 2023 wrap. Whew. My voice is parched. I hope you enjoyed all the biggest stories from pop culture. I'm very sorry if I've missed your story. I've been creating this list over the past year, and anytime that something's come up of note, I've put it down. So I really hope I didn't miss too much. Thank you guys so much for supporting me on my videos this year. As I kind of slightly mentioned at the start, I'm gonna do a lot more longer form videos in 2024, and I've got a lot of ideas in the works. It's been the most excited I've felt about like actually creating content for like years now. I feel like I got my mojo back. Whatever Maddie from Euphoria said. But thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you had a fabulous 2023, and I will see you in 2024. Ciao!